Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of astronomy from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its makeup has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information. Whatsoever, we just kick you out of the temple quick. So just make sure you come with a humble meditation. That's the truth. But for sure, family, we will be going into the mystics of the Bible this Sunday. We'll make sure we break it down properly. So make sure you're early. You can't be coming in late because we're going to start at 8 sharp. And definitely the meditation, make sure you come with your snacks. And of course, you need your meditation itself to take it to another level. That's how we do it in the Tiger's Temple. What a wonderful time we had on Sunday. So for sure, you can make your payment specifically. You can utilize the Cash App. You could utilize the PayPal. Of course, the link for both of these are in the description below this video. Okay. Now, so when it comes to the whole aspect of understanding the science of the coins, now these are US coins, and these are the original ones. I know they have some slightly different versions today, but they still utilize these, the basic outlook. So of course, everyone knows the quarter. And of course, you have the quarter, let me see, the dime, the nickel, and the penny. Let me make sure I have that correct. So you have the 25 cents. Of course, you see George Washington on the 25 cents. If you hold it to you, he's looking to what would be your left. And then you have this one. Who is this one? You know, this is FDR, if I'm not mistaken. And he's also looking for to the left. And then we have now, this is Thomas Jefferson, if I'm not mistaken, and he is also looking to the left. And then now when we look at good old Abraham Lincoln, he is looking to the right. All right. Now, is there any reason for this? You know, is there a reason why all the presidents, at least those on the silver coins, Interesting. Their coins are silver too. Those on the silver coins are looking in one direction, while he that is on the bronze looking copper coin, much darker, is looking in the other direction. All right, what's the reasoning behind of all of this? Now, as I said, Freemasonry plays a serious part here. You may say, no, man, you fellows take this Freemasonry thing too far. There's no Freemasonry nowhere. All right. I'm sure we all understand. And since we're dealing with finance, I'm sure we all understand or comprehend the hidden messages that you see on the dollar bill. Of course, the Great Seal is on the dollar bill. And we've highlighted this several times, the Great Seal itself with the number 13 really standing out in many different cases. Of course, you have the 13 arrows in the left talon of the eagle on the Great Seal. You have the branch, the olive branch with the 13 leaves and the 13 berries. And then you have the shield with the 13 stripes. And then, of course, above the eagle, you have the 13 stars making the 6-point star shape. And then, of course, there's a scroll in the mouth of the eagle, E pluribus unum. Of course, even all of that is 13 letters. And just to highlight this, because in the mystics thereof, they actually have the feathers of the eagle is said to be 33 and 32, which we know are the highest numbers in what is known as Scottish Rite Freemasonry. So there you notice you have the number 13 in many different aspects. These clouds, how many clouds do you have here? I never checked this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There are 14 clouds here. Okay, I was just checking that. First time I ever noticed those clouds, so I said, let me count them. But for sure, you count the 13 leaves, 13 berries, 13 arrows. I think they have 9 tail feathers here. Family, you can't take nothing for granted. Don't take nothing for granted, because even though they're 13 stars, they make a 6-point star. Even though the feathers in the wings are not 13, but 32 and 33 is very important. That's degrees, the highest ranks in Scottish Rite Freemasonry. You understand? So, and the 13 stripes here. So obviously numbers are important, and the number 13 stands out. Then now when you look on what is known as the pyramid, as I mentioned in one lecture the other evening, it looks very much like the pyramids in Sudan, more so than the pyramids in Egypt. But that's another conversation all by itself. And when you look at this, you also see that the number 13 also stands out. Very important here, something that we have to, we can't look. Even in this phrase, you see the 13 letters. Then also you have the numerical value here of this Roman numeral expression, which is 1776. Of course, 1776 is the year of the independence, the 4th of July, 1776. 7 and 6 is 13 again. So, and then you have to keep in mind, just even 4th of July, July the 4th has 13 letters in the phrase. There are 13 letters in the phrase July the 4th. 13 letters in the phrase July the 4th. Very good. Wow. I wonder if you're following me. All right. And then even the phrase American Eagle. American Eagle specifically has 13 letters in the phrase or in the word American Eagle. So you can see, family, all of this is not by mistake. It is by design. And that is why I highlighted the money. I could highlight other things. We could highlight the Statue of Liberty. We could highlight the Washington Monument. We could highlight all sorts of things that has to do with the USA and show you that there is hidden esoteric subliminal message within it. How many of you were watching us with Brother Killer Priest the other evening? I think we took some time to really come down and explain the whole science of where the Freemasonic people, the Knights of the Templars and all of these people, where they got that understanding from, where they got that craft from. And even those who they got the craft from, got that science from the Most High, from the Creator, wherein in nature you actually see nature mimicking itself. All right, good. All of this is important, eh? All of this is important if you want the explanation properly. Good. So the point is we're dealing with the money. We also highlighted even this shiny 25 cents, the quarter. Remember those of you who were with us in the Tigers Temple on Sunday, we were showing you when you take this quarter of a dollar bill and you hold it up to a full moon at arm's length, it gives the impression as if it's the same size as the moon. That is men mimicking nature in the same way that nature mirrors itself. That's why we explained to you the moon, like look at the eclipse the other evening. It gives you this impression as if the moon and the sun are the same size. When you have a solar eclipse and you can clearly see the moon passing in front of the sun, it gives you this impression as if the both of them are the same size, like you're looking at two flat discs, passing in front of each other. But because of the distance of the sun from the planet Earth in relation to the distance of the moon from the same planet Earth, and then you have to take in consideration the size of both planet moon, sun, and planet Earth. You have to consider all these things. That's why you get the impression when you look from planet Earth as if the sun and the moon is the same size. It's just natural. It's just nature. It's just natural. As I said, even Sunday, when you hold up your thumb and you look at a mountain way in the distance, your thumb may even appear to be bigger than the mountain. But your thumb ain't bigger than the mountain. If you start to walk towards the mountain, whenever you reach the mountain, you will realize that the mountain is much, much, much bigger than your thumb. But because of the distance that you were, maybe 10 miles away, and you put up your thumb to the mountain, it appears because of your distance as if the thumb is bigger than the mountain. It's all science. It's just mathematics. So in the same way, these people have designed the quarter. See, the quarter is a different size than the 10 cents and the nickel and the penny. It's designed in a way that when you hold it up at arm's length, whatever the average arm's length of the average size man is supposed to be, they did all their calculation, and it gives this impression perfectly. I'm not making this up. You can try it yourself. You'll still get a nice round moon tonight. It'll be coming up about 8 o'clock. It's not going to be fully full, but you could try the experiment yourself with the quarter. You will see that it would just fit perfectly over a bright, full, one of them super moons. So what I'm saying is that they put Freemasonic energy into everything that they do. So my point here now is that, again, it is not by mistake that good old Abe is facing in a different direction to his fellow dead presidents. So, for example, in this mode here, when you put him in front of them, it appears as if he's facing them. And honestly, I believe he's standing in some level of inferiority. I don't think he is the judge of them, and they're waiting for his mercy. In fact, to me, I believe he is being judged by them. In fact, when you look at it the other way, and you put him behind them, his back is turned to them, or their back is turned to him. Keep in mind, his coin is a different shade. Why is that? Remember Abraham Lincoln, number one, they consider him to be one of the first black presidents. Now, if not, that's not me saying that. No, that's history, you know. That's history. Abraham Lincoln. I'm not speaking of those of us in the conscious community that figure this out. No, during Abraham Lincoln's time, those of his comrades and those of his contemporary, they would mock him, saying that his mother had black blood in her lineage, which apparently is true. So some people were calling him a Negroid president because they were saying that obviously no Negro is supposed to be president. So the fact that he has a couple drops of blood from his mother's side, he should be disqualified. We shouldn't even take him on. No, that's reality. That's history. All right. Knowing the sort of history and the sort of culture that the USA has, I wouldn't be surprised, again, that he was purposely put on a coin that has this bronzish, brassish looking color, copper sort of expression, and he was purposely made to face the opposite direction, purposely, so that it would appear as if he is literally in front of the judges, like the Supreme Court judges looking at him, and in another way, he's put at the back of them where their back is turned to him. You notice, he is the only fella here that has a beard. Listen. He is the only fella here that has a beard. The US presidents don't wear bearded. It's only him, and I think about 2 or 3 others. I don't think it passed 3. I don't think it's past 3 of them. There are at least 2 others. I think it's one of them, Adams. I'm not sure at the moment. But wearing a beard as a US president is not something that you commonly see. Remember, the beard is a symbol of a man. I don't know what the world is dealing with today. But those of us that understand the science, we know that the beard is a symbol of a man. Okay, good. So Mr. Lincoln now, according to what they teach us, has been credited for the emancipation of the slaves. You know that, all right. Now, although I know that a lot of that is just mockery, meaning that he himself, that's Mr. Lincoln, he himself showed us that he's only doing this for the betterment of the nation. Remember, they needed to release the Negroes so that they could go and fight the war. You know what I mean? And then when they come back from the war, they will be given their full freedom and all of that kind of stuff. And when I say come back, we're talking civil war now, war on the ground. Yeah, man. He wanted to save the Confederate. That's Abraham Lincoln I'm talking about. So it's not as if he had this beautiful heart and this love for Negroes, and then he just wanted to, free them up. Some people say the same thing about President Johnson too, or Andrew Jackson, and what was the one there that had the lady, the black mistress, Thomas Jefferson. Give thanks, honorable princess. Many people do say the same thing about Thomas Jefferson, specifically, but I don't think he ain't the one that freed the Negroes. He's not the one that freed the Negroes. So there's an emphasis here on the one that freed the Negroes. Now, I just want to show you something here, because many ones, although you'll be listening to this, you may be saying, well, yeah, but Ras, I don't believe that these people, went out of their way. I mean, no, this thing just coincident. All right. Now, we did a program about maybe 3 years ago as it relates to the connection between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. Now, when you observe the link between Kennedy and Lincoln, you cannot deny that this is more than just coincidence, and not just coincidence, meaning that it coincides, because that's what coincidence means. It's made up of co-incident, coincide. So it is a coincidence because they coincide on a very deep level. Let me show you. As it relates to Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy, both were elected to Congress in 46. Lincoln was elected in 1846 from Illinois, and Kennedy was elected in 1946 from Massachusetts. Both were elected to the presidency in the 60. Lincoln was elected in 1860. Kennedy was elected in 1960. Everything here is exactly 100 years apart. Both, listen to this, both have 7 letters in their last name. Lincoln and Kennedy. Both were concerned with civil rights. Lincoln felt strongly that all slaves should be freed and issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which legally freed slaves within the Confederacy. Kennedy was concerned with racial equality and was the first to propose what would be the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Hear this, both married in their 30s to women that were 24 and spoke fluent French, both of them. Both of their wives were 24, okay, when they got married to them. All right. Lincoln was married on the 4th of November, 1842. Lincoln was born on February 12th, 1809, making him 33 years old at the time of his wedding. Lincoln's bride, Mary Ann Todd, was born on December 13, 1880, making her 23 years old at the time of her wedding. Good. Now, Kennedy was married on September 12, 1953. Kennedy was born 29th of May, 1917, making him 36 years old at the time of his wedding. Kennedy's bride, Jacqueline Bouvier, was born on July 28, 1929, making her 24 years old at the time of her wedding. Good. Now, says here, both lost a son while living in the White House. Lincoln lost his 11-year-old son, William, and Kennedy lost his infant son, Patrick. Both sons' names, William Wallace Lincoln and Patrick Bouvier Kennedy, have 21 letters each, with each having 7 letters each, first, middle, and last name. Interesting. Both were shot on a Friday. Lincoln was shot on Good Friday, April 14, 1865. Kennedy was shot on Friday, November 22nd, 1963. Both were shot in the head, both Lincoln and Kennedy. Both were shot in the presence of their wives, both Lincoln and Kennedy. Both were assassinated by Southerners. Lincoln was shot by John Wilkes Booth in Maryland, and Kennedy was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald from New Orleans, Louisiana, so they say. Both of the president's successors were named Johnson. Lincoln succeeded by Andrew Johnson. Kennedy succeeded by Lyndon B. Johnson. Both were succeeded by Southerners. Andrew Johnson was from Tennessee, and LBJ was from Texas. Both successors were born, listen to this, both successors were born in 08. Andrew Johnson was born in 1808, December 29. Lyndon Johnson was born 1908, August 27th, I'm telling you. Both assassins, Booth and Oswald, are known by their three names: John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald. Each assassin's full name is composed of 50 letters. Imagine this. Lincoln was shot at Ford's Theater, and Kennedy was shot in a Ford car, a Lincoln limousine. All right. And this may not be saying it here, but I'm sure you know that Lincoln was shot inside of a theater, and his assassin ran into a warehouse wherein Kennedy was shot from a warehouse, and his assassin ran into a theater. And there are other connections that are very similar with both. I'm talking about President Kennedy and President Lincoln. And we can pull up things as it relates to other leaders, from Donald Trump, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan has a serious link with Pope Pius XI, even when Ronald Reagan was born and when he was 11, and Pope Pius XI became the 11th on the 11th of February. Listen, the thing is so deep, my family. So just showing you now the heights of it with understanding. Yeah, it's deep, because the 11th vibration, let me just show you that quickly since I mentioned it. You know that Ambrose Ratti, Ambrose Ratti, that's the same Pope that they say blessed Mussolini's bombs or cursed the bombs to attack the king. Yeah, but he became Pope in 1922. That's when he became Pope, 1922, on the 6th of February. That's when he became Pope Pius XI. That's exactly when he became Pope Pius XI. Now, that the same day when Pope Pius XI became Pope Pius XI, the 6th of February, that was Ronald Reagan's 11th birthday, the very day. And Ronald Wilson Reagan, another mystic, 666 in his name, is very outstanding when it comes to certain understanding of prophecy, even his connection with the Pope, because even Pope John Paul II, which is two ones that look like an 11 too, you know, if you remember, he visited Ronald Reagan at his inauguration. If I'm not mistaken, that has never been done since, where a Pope literally comes to the inauguration of a president. And it goes deep, you know, because Pope Reagan and that same Pope that visited him, the both of them got shot basically the same time, and the both of them didn't die. And it only brings to meditation the scripture when it says the beast was wounded, but it didn't die. You know, so listen, I know I'm going deep, and I may be going a little further than you expect. But whether you consider all what I've said so far as relevant to the subject, what you need to do is think properly and meditate that, hey, there is more than meets the eye. That's why I would go into all of these different things, although what I just said may not appear as if it has anything to do with Lincoln on the coin. But what I'm trying to show you is that nothing that is in front of you is by mistake, it is by design. Even down to who born, when, and what they're going to be. Them people birth the leaders to you. They don't just come to colleges and watch you and say, hey, this one looks like he's going to be a good person to sit in the office. Sometimes they make sure they birth you. Sometimes they come and see your mother and say, hey, she can make a good child for us. Bring him, put them together, and they're going to create the next president. You don't believe them things happen. I know you don't believe that. I know everything just happened by chance. When it's so obvious that there's a serious agenda even before us. And that is why it is important for us to do a lot of reading, a lot of studying. Don't just depend on these documentaries that they show you on the internet. Take up some books, some old books too, and go into them and formulate your thoughts, and you will see for sure that there's more than meets the eye. That is why we took time to explain, even when it comes down to the dollar bill. That's why I started here, to show you all the different 13s and of course some other numbers. As I said, this is the first time I noticed even the clouds. There must be some mystic in this. Maybe some of you would even know, you know, the mystic in the clouds. There's nothing here. There's nothing here you should overlook. Nothing. Every little design, all of these little stuff here, every little designs, all of the straight lines, they know why they put them there, and the numbers that they put there. And if you take the time to multiply some number by another number and divide it by the other number, you'll be surprised the things that you get, because that is how they deal with their secret science. So good old Abe, as they call him, okay? The 1 cent, the penny. That's why you notice so many things cost $19.99, $29.99, $49.99. So when you get back that one little penny there as a change, what are you gonna buy with that? Nothing. People throw that in the water fountains to make wishes. I'm gonna make a wish. Throw a couple Abrahams in there. Ding, ling, ling, ling. Make a wish. Even before I came across this understanding, when I was younger, I visited the United States. My cousins, Joseph and Phyllis in Connecticut. Never forget them times there. And when you go into the closet, you would see jars of pennies filled with Abraham Lincolns. Yeah, man. You know what I'm talking about. In the same way that some of us collect our coins and, you know, put them in a bag or put them away and whatever for a rainy day, you come out and try to count them. We're talking about a culture that takes the pennies. I'm not saying that they don't take the other coins, but the penny, the 1 cent, which you can't buy nothing with a 1 cent by itself. People just tend to put that away. So Mr. Abraham Lincoln is put on the lowest. Mr. Abraham Lincoln is put on the lowest of the coins and just put away or thrown in the water fountain and let's make a wish. That's reality. Now check this. Look at the dollar bill now. Abraham Lincoln is not on the $1 bill. He's on the 1 cent. But he's not on the $1 bill. Who is on the $1 bill? George Washington. Now you may say, okay, Ras, well, that proves that it's not what you say. Because look, they put good old George on the lease. Which lease? The $1? Nah, man. The $1, yes, maybe when you go to the supermarket and you're going to buy something and it costs $5, you have to pull out $1. But that's on that level. The dollar has a different value. Do you know, some of you may not be aware, but all of these other monies around the world, you can't spend them everywhere. Even the great pound, the US pound, not the US pound, the UK pound, the British pound. The British pound, I don't know where you can spend it, but for sure, even when you come to the Caribbean, you have problems spending British money. Even the euro, sometimes you have problems spending it at certain places. Certain banks don't even take it. But the US is spent everywhere. So when you hear they put the yen against the dollar, and they put the peso against the dollar, and they compare the pound against the dollar, what are they comparing it to? The dollar. That is why George Washington is on the dollar. Because you may just have it as a dollar, but the symbol of the dollar is the symbol of money. Yeah, it's all about the Benjamins. I understand. We know that. We get that. But we're not talking about the literal value of the money that you can spend. We're looking at the value of the money and what it represents. The US dollar is what all the money come and stand up to see where they rank. You can't come around here and spend no Japanese yen. What money they spend in China? They don't spend that around here. You know what I mean? You can't bring no money with Chairman Mao face on it and anybody use that around here. You gotta bring the Benjamins. You gotta bring George Washington. Now, Abraham Lincoln, he's on paper money too. But which paper money is Abraham Lincoln on? He's on the $5. Now, keep in mind, you have to take the dollar out of the equation because the dollar is symbolic of something else. So when you're left with the 5, the 20, the 50, and 100, you see good old Abe, because you can't leave Abe out there. But he's still given the lowest spot, being the $5. You would expect, as great as Abraham Lincoln is, if he didn't get the space of the dollar, at least the 20 or the 50. Nah, leave him on the 5. And when it comes to the coins, put him on the 1 cent and turn him in another direction. In fact, make his coin out of copper or brass or something brown to go with his background, the bearded president, and put him behind the others so they turn their back on him, or put him in front of the others so it appears as some level of judgment. Yeah. And as I said, it's all coded. It's all by design. And it is not a mistake. It has a meaning. $15.99. What's the price for this? $29.99. Here's your change, sir. Oh, you keep it. Ding-ling-ling. Yeah, and it's all psychology too. Why did you free the niggers, brother? It is all psychology. So family, this is why, I know maybe you expected us to run through this in 10 minutes. But no, we have to take time sometimes to highlight other things. So when we bring it back home, no one could just say, oh, that's just your own opinion. You may say that, but obviously you can't be right. It's obvious that there is a hidden agenda, even in the way that these coins are put together. Yeah, man. Life giver and the keeper of lives. Blessed love. I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of astronomy from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its makeup has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information.